Hare Krishna. So Krishna has spoken about knowing the universal form. He basically spoke about the Vishwaroop Upasana. Now he's going to speak about the Prataktvenas, or the worshippers of demigods, or the ones who are doing the Pratika Upasana, from shloka number 20 onwards. So let's see that. Traividya mam somapaha putapapa yagnair ishtva swargatim prathayante te punyam asadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. So here Krishna is saying Traividya. He's talking about those people who study the three Vedas. Somapaha, and they drink soma juice. And what are they doing? Swargatim prarthayante. They are seeking the heavenly planets. Mam yagner ishtva. By doing all this, what are they trying to do? They are actually worshipping me indirectly. And then he says, Puta papa. Such people are purified from sinful reactions. And Te punyam asadya surendra lokam. They take birth on pious planet, that is the heavenly planet of Indra, Surendra lokam. Surendra is one of the name of Indra. Ashnanti divyan divi deva bhogan. And what happens on that planet? They get to enjoy what? Divi deva bhogan, the godly delights. So here it is talked about those demigod worshippers who are into reading three Vedas and so many other things. So here one thing we have to understand is, this particular shloka is not talking about the modern demigod worshippers, where they take the photos of demigod, dump it in the altar, close it, open it sometimes, close it, open it sometimes, and maybe once in a while lit a lamp in front, and maybe incense also. We are not talking about them. Actually, such people cannot be called as demigod worshippers. Demigod worshippers, or the worshippers of Devi Devtas, are those who worship the Devi Devtas according to the proper procedure that is given in the Vedas. And who can do that? The ones who have read the Vedas, they can do it. So it's a very important thing to understand that what is demigod worship? It has to be understood very, very clearly. It's not about whichever place we go, we get a photo, dump that in the same altar, somehow make space here and there, and the altar is filled with all the photos from different places. And what is the worship? Just a little bit of lighting of some lamp and maybe incense, and maybe in the festivals remove all the photos and clean up and all that. No, that's not worship. Maybe that's much better than doing nothing, but then that will not reap benefit. That will not take the person to the higher levels of Krishna consciousness. So here it is said what exactly is the Devi Devta worship or demigod worship. The word Traividyaha refers to the three Vedas, Sama, Yajur and Rig. A Brahmana who has studied these three Vedas is called a Trivedi. So nowadays, at least in India, we have these titles, Trivedis, Chaturvedis and all that. Don't know how, if they have really read the three Vedas or not, but the title is there. That basically goes on to say that ancestors who were there, they might have read the three Vedas which are there. Anyone who is very much attached to the knowledge derived from these three Vedas is respected in the society. Unfortunately, there are many great scholars of the Vedas who do not know the ultimate purport of studying them. So what happens? Many times people have this eagerness, I want to study the Vedas. And they come and they keep searching, and they keep asking also, can you give me Vedas? There is a problem in studying the Vedas. What is the problem? The problem is, there are many flowery language which is used. Lots of flowery language that is used. And these flowery language are alluring. They are very attractive. And what happens? These different statements which are given in the Vedas, that actually deviate the person from the path of bhakti. Because there are so many places in the Vedic scriptures which is speaking about how to progress materially and how to do better sense gratification. Obviously, in a dharmic way, in a religious way, but still, it is sense gratification. So the point is, there is no use of going through all these Vedas and getting deviated from the path of bhakti. But all the ones who know the purpose of Vedas, they are the actual readers or the people who actually understand the Vedas. Vedaisha sarver ahameva vedyah. Krishna is saying, in all the Vedas, I am to be known. If someone reads the Vedic literature and if he does not come to the conclusion that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is everything, it means he has not read the Vedic literatures. A very important point note here, it is said, Krishna herein declares himself to be the ultimate goal for the three Trivedis. Actual Trivedis take shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and engage in pure devotional service to satisfy the Lord. Unfortunately, those who simply official students of Vedas become more interested in offering sacrifices to different demigods like Indra and Chandra. By such endeavors, the worshippers of different demigods are certainly purified of the contamination of the lower qualities of nature and are thereby elevated to the higher planetary systems or heavenly planets known as Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. Once situated on those higher planetary systems, one can satisfy his senses hundreds of thousands of times better than this planet. Now, what happens when we are reading the Vedas? We'll get to know the various sacrifices. We'll get to know that how to get higher pleasure, higher sense gratification. So, when a person actually takes up that particular sacrifice, when he starts doing that, what happens is, if the person is in the mode of ignorance or passion in the lower qualities, he is pulled to the mode of goodness. This power is there in the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedic scriptures, especially in the Vedas. So, it's a very important point to note that our Vedas which are there, they are very clearly talking about how a person can elevate himself to the higher modes, that is mode of goodness. But then one thing we have to understand is that even when the person elevates to mode of goodness, he is not breaking the cycle of birth and death. Max to max, what will happen? He might go to those planets which are in mode of goodness, like the Swargaloka, Chandraloka or higher planetary system, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Brahmaloka. So they are in mode of goodness. Maybe person can go there. But still these different places are there in the material universe. When the annihilation happens, everything is going to get annihilated. But one thing is clear, the enjoyment that is there in this world is nothing in front of the enjoyment that is available in these higher planets. But then what is the use? What is the use? Because finally, the person is endeavoring so much to do so many yagyas, so many rituals. And where is he ending up? He is ending up in a temporary world again, in a temporary planet again. So, the intelligent ones are the ones who take up to devotional service. After going through the Vedas, they will see, okay, this particular sacrifice will take me to Swargaloka, this particular sacrifice will take me to Maharloka, this will take me to Brahmaloka. But all this is temporary. What will take me to Krishna Loka? This is what is a search that an intelligent person will do when it comes to reading the Vedas or understanding the Vedas. So here it is said that the shelter of the three Vedis, the ones who actually read the Vedic scriptures, is the lotus feet of Krishna and engage in pure devotional service to satisfy the Lord. Devotional service begins with the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and side by side trying to understand Krishna in truth. So this is exactly what is supposed to be done. We need to understand that Krishna's lotus feet is the ultimate shelter. Attaining Krishna is the ultimate goal. There is no other goal apart from this. We have not got this human form, not to go to Swargaloka or to go to some higher planets to enjoy. Now when we have started our journey back home, back to Godhead, we will intensely practice bhakti and we will take rest only in Goloka Vrindavan now. There is no question of in between taking rest anywhere. So this point is very important to understand that our goal is not to go to heavenly planets. Our goal is to break the cycle of birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead. So one thing we have to understand is that in the age of Kali Yuga, all the Vedic scriptures are talking about this one very important thing, that is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti shodashakam nam kali kalmashanashanam nata parataropyayah sarva vedeshu drishyate. So it is said that after searching all the Vedas, finally one solution is found for mitigating all the evil stuff of the age of Kali. to break the cycle of birth and death, to go back home back to Godhead. And what is that? The 16-word mantra or the 32-syllable mantra called the Maha Mantra or the Great Deliverer Mantra. So after searching all the Vedas, the essence is found and that is this Maha Mantra. Anyone who chants this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, with faith, with devotion, with conviction, determination every single day, aiming for purifying oneself and going back home back to Godhead, yes, that person will surely attain the ultimate destination. But the others who are doing various sacrifices, okay, they might get purified because there is a power in the sacrifice and rituals mentioned in the Vedic scriptures. But they don't have enough power, enough strength to help the person break the cycle of birth and death and go back home back, take him back home back to Godhead. But Maha Mantra is one such mantra which has the ultimate power, because this Maha Mantra is Krishna himself. Nam and Nami are non-different. Krishna's name and Krishna himself are non-different. So this Maha Mantra is Krishna. So Krishna has the power to pull us from this material world and take us back home back to Godhead. So the ones who are intelligent will not get into all this demigod worship, reading the Vedas, trying to do various rituals to go to heavenly planets and all. Obviously now in this age of Kali Yuga, people don't do all this. They don't have time to do anything. Where is the question of doing big yagyas and rituals to go to heavenly planet? So what are we supposed to do in the age of Kali Yuga? Just practice devotional service. Very nicely, very intensely, every single day with full enthusiasm. That I want to meet Krishna at the end of my life. And Krishna will surely manifest if I am a sincere devotee, chanting the Maha Mantra and doing various other angas of devotional service. Now Krishna has described this. Now he's going to talk about what happens to those people. Because see, if someone is doing demigod worship, if he understands that these demigods are different parts and parcels of Krishna and the worship is actually happening to Krishna, that worship can still be considered. But those people who consider these Pratika Upasanas or Pritaktvenas who are there, they consider these demigods to be supreme. So they consider the demigods to be supreme and worship them like that. So it's an improper worship. So what will happen to such people who are actually getting into such improper worship? Krishna will speak about this in the next shloka. So let's see that in the next video. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.